Alright, let's dive right into this one. So, a few different things I want to talk about here. Um, I've been having a lot of conversations with my sweetheart lately that kind of make me realize that throughout my life, one of the things that has sincerely lacked is communication. I've struggled throughout my entire life to communicate things, and that goes back to my childhood. It goes back to my feelings of not being heard. If you're consistently unheard, right, you're going to kind of like close up. You're going to lock up. You're going to shut down. You're going to not. You're gonna not feel like it's necessary for you to be heard. So if you feel like it's not necessary for you to be heard, you're not going to strive. You're not going to strive to try to communicate yourself, right? And I think that goes into the throat center, you know, the throat chakra. It's very interesting to me because in the time that I have been kind of like setting higher standards for myself and like setting boundaries with myself and with people and everything, the level of communication that's required for that, because like when you set boundaries, when you set standards and everything, ultimately you're setting agreements, right? So therefore it's kind of like you have people under surveillance, right? And since you have people under surveillance, you're watching the way that they are. You're watching what it is that they're doing. You're holding them to a standard, right? And of course, standards need to be communicated, because it's like you can't just like what's the yeah expectations, right? You can't just like I don't know. You can't just expect something of someone and not communicate that. Like it's like, yeah, I'm just going to hope that you're this way, or hope that you do this, that this, that, and the other. Not say anything to you about it, but hope that hope that you do that. No, it's a losing game. It's not going to get you anything. It's not going to help you. So it's very interesting to like reflect on my life and like realize like, oh wow, okay, so here's where I am now. Here's where I come from. Here's what I'm looking to kind of like make things be moving forward. And it's so fascinating to see how things are unfolding, how things are transforming. Um, I think it's so cool to watch how my process of healing is like shaping the way that I approach myself, and also the people in my life, my relationships and everything, the standards that I'm setting for myself and for everyone else, the boundaries that I'm setting. Um, the pushback on the boundaries. A lot of people don't like boundaries. They don't. These are the same people that are probably enmeshed, that are, have all that shit going on, and think that they have a level of involvement in somebody's life that they don't, right? And because there's that level of comfort there, they just don't do anything about it. But communication is what it comes down to. And this is an era of my life, I believe, that I'm learning to communicate not only better, but also more frequently. Right? Because there have been times where, like, in the past, I've been bothered by things. I've been very bothered by things, and I never communicated my feelings. So basically, I was never congruent on behalf of what it was that I was feeling. If I was bothered by, I don't know, someone left something out, or someone did something that I just don't like, right? Like, hey, communicate, hey, I noticed that you did this, could you please not do that? Or I noticed that you left that out, could you please not leave it out? Could you put it like this, that, and the other? Like, because it all affects everyone, right? And throughout my entire life, I've just been passive regarding all that stuff. And I learned passiveness from specific people. I learned all that stuff. I'm not going to name any names, of course. But, like, I learned all that stuff from specific people, and it really messed me up, because it taught me that, one, it doesn't fucking matter, which it most definitely fucking does. um, It taught me that it's not necessary to communicate my likes, dislikes, wants, and needs. It most certainly is necessary. It taught me a whole range of things that kind of just like put everything that I want and need on the back burner and not really like take it seriously and not like actually pursue to have all that stuff be met. Um, it's crazy to see how all of the things are affected by what I've learned about communication. Um, all that's or I should say how I've been conditioned by communication or a lack thereof. Literally, growing up, I've learned not to be communicative, and that basically leads to passiveness. That basically leads to, listen, your likes, dislikes, wants, and needs don't fucking matter. Nobody gives a fuck, so don't even consider trying to, express how you feel or, this, that, and the other. And just, like, that's literally shaped how I approach myself and my relationships. So, it's no wonder that throughout my entire life I've been just like walked all over and everything and like taken advantage of, and like if you don't say shit, no one's gonna know shit. No one's mind readers, like it's so interesting how all of that stuff kind of like impacts your life in a very serious way. It is a very serious thing. But moving forward, what I'm looking to do now is just continue setting high fucking standards. Um, if somebody has any opposition to those high standards, that lets me know exactly where they stand in my life, like that kind of stuff. Setting boundaries, all that stuff, not letting up, One of the most important things I'm doing now is putting myself first. And the reason why this is so interesting is because I've spent my entire life doing the exact opposite. I've put everyone else before me. So what I'm doing now is kind of like, it's completely opposite of that. And sometimes it's like, how far do I go with this? And other times it's like, dude, just do for you, period. And it's so interesting. It's very interesting to be here. It's interesting to see how all of this stuff unfolds. I am setting standards. I'm communicating to myself and other people those standards. Not everything is liked. I don't care. I'm not going to be ridiculous with my standards and everything. I'm not going to set shit that's like so high that it's unachievable. But I have standards for myself. I have high standards for myself. Starting to see things for what they really are and everything. Starting to see myself for what I really am, unclouded by all of the bullshit illusions that people have tried to paint for me. It's real. It's fucking real out here. So it's very exciting to be where I am. It's very exciting to kind of like, I've kind of, I'm looking back at my past self 10 years ago, I don't know, 5 years ago, all that stuff. Just like, it's like I clearly made decisions that were in my best interest, and I'm really grateful that I did that. And it's very important to do that because literally a decision that I make today can profoundly impact the outcome of my life even tomorrow, but I'm going to argue for the long term, 3-5 years from now. Like, the work that I put into what it is that I'm trying to create right now, it can seriously alter the course of my life. And it's just very important to understand that. And the more that's understood, the better there are, the better chances that, there's going to be a fulfilling life there. But yeah, just like regarding like standards, boundaries, communication, all that stuff, that's where I am. And it's exciting because I'm not settling for anything. If I'm not happy, I'm not there. That's all. If I'm not fulfilled, I'm not there. If I'm not proud of myself, I'm not there. I have set the foundation for me to be here where I am now, and I'm not settling moving forward. Once you see what it is that you are capable of, like once that is clearly painted in front of your face, you have a clear example. You have multiple clear examples of that, and you actually continue to act on that. Like you don't look back, and if you do, I don't know I don't know what you're thinking, but you don't look back. You don't. You're like, oh wow, okay, that's me. That's who I am. I'm clearly capable. I can create whatever the fuck I want, period. no ifs, ands, or buts. And then you see yourself clearly. And that's it. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Standards, boundaries, not settling. I come first, period. And that changes everything.